All right, hey, my name's Jean-Luc Julian. I'm a film director, and I'm going to give a little interview now. Was there a particular event or time you recognized that film is not just a hobby, but that it would be your life and your living? Wow. Was there a particular time that I discovered that filmmaking was not just a hobby, but would be my life and my living? I don't know. I should probably prepare the answers a little better. It's not my living. I don't make a living as a filmmaker, so bummer. But I guess it is my life. It's what I want to do. It's what I want to keep doing. It's what I have done in the past for, I'm guessing, a majority of my life. Maybe, yeah. I think I wrote my first screenplay at 13. I'm over 26 now, so it's definitely over half my life. Yeah, next step, making it into a living. That's the interesting and exciting part, and the part I'm not really sure about. But it is my life, I guess you could say. Is it harder to get started or to keep going? That's an interesting question as well. Well done, you, for asking these interesting questions. It wasn't that difficult to get started because I just did. I just, talked to a person who had a camera and, made a little documentary for a high school project and, learned by doing, I guess. Is it harder to keep going? Maybe that's a little harder. I'd be lying if it's never occurred to me that maybe, I'm not really made to be a film director in the entertainment business, because it is a cruel and loveless profession sometimes. It's also beautiful and life-affirming and expanding profession as well. I suppose I'm not a professional director yet. One day. High hopes for a living. That's what I got. So yeah, is it harder to get started or to keep going? Well, I guess that depends on you. And if you're asking me, it's easier to get started than to keep going, because I have to keep going every day. I just had to start once. So that's a good answer. All right. It's harder to keep going than it is to start, because starting just takes once. To keep going, you need to do it every day. Every day you have to wake up and make the decision of being a film director or a filmmaker, or basically anything you want to do in life. You have to make that decision every day and keep making that decision until possibly you decide, I no longer want to do that. What advice would I give to someone who wants to make a living as a filmmaker? I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Make films. Yeah, I don't really have the right advice because, as I mentioned in a previous answer, I'm not making a living as a filmmaker. So, but my advice would be just to keep making films. Hence, you will be a filmmaker, and it's so beautifully easy now with a cell phone and free editing equipment software. So yeah, just write and direct and cast well, and try to get a little money from your friends and family together and make a film and learn from your mistakes. And hopefully one day someone will see that film and say, hey, I want to work with this person. So yeah, I'm still waiting for someone to say that to me. Like I said, I'm over 26 now, so it's been a while. Yeah, but keep on keeping on. What was the most important lesson I had to learn to make a positive impact on my film or filmmaking? Wow. I don't know what's a positive. I guess when people like what you made, that's a positive affirmation of what you've done and what you've created. And I believe I've received positive compliments. I guess it's always hard to tell, you know, what's actually a compliment, what's actually honest, because, you know, people don't want to hurt your feelings most of the time. But I'm not really concerned about what other people think. I guess if I'm happy with the film and other people are happy with it, then that's cool. If I'm happy with it and other people aren't happy with it, then I can think about it and say, how can I make it better next time? If that's what I want to do, which is usually what I want to do. All right. You're a collaborator. Have you discovered members of your team, and how do you keep the relationship with them strong? I am a collaborator. Film is a collaboration. Obviously, I don't go on a set with a camera and make a movie by myself, although I'm sure some people do that. That's one of the great things about making movies, is that you collaborate with people that are hopefully smarter and more experienced than yourself. And I love working with other people. I love hearing new ideas. I love working with actors and exploring moments and motivation. So yeah, I'm a great collaborator. But as a director, you have to kind of make the executive decision, or as a producer, I guess, they tell you what to decide if they have money and more clout than you do. And I haven't really worked in that capacity where someone produced a film that had more experience or clout than me. So I'm both excited and a little nervous about doing that. But I want to do that because I want to grow as an artist, as a human being, as a collaborator. And I'm looking forward to someone saying, hey, here's a bunch of money to make your movie. Now go and do it. I believe in you. Proud of you. Love you. No, I don't need love really, but you know what I mean. You're here at Louisiana Movie of the Week. You're here, the work you do. What are personal attributes that make a good filmmaker, and what you do to foster them? What are good attributes for a filmmaker, and how do I foster them? I guess perseverance is a good attribute to have as far as making a film, because it's not always going to go the way you want it to go, and it's important to have the end goal in mind, while at the same time knowing that the film you imagined at the beginning isn't going to be exactly the way it is at the end, because you have a lot of collaborators giving their input, and I think that's a good thing, and hopefully it'll make it better. Yeah, and drive, I guess, ambition would probably be important. That's something I lack, unfortunately. This ambition, this drive, this ego, this yearning for fame and money, I didn't really come equipped with that, so I'm just trying to make movies that move people, either make them laugh or make them cry or somewhere in between. Yeah. I wanted all my life to make movies. I was New York, LA. How does where you live influence how and what you make, and how do you think Louisiana currently affects your work and process? Okay. I gotta be honest with you, good people of Louisiana and the world online. I've never actually been to Louisiana. I hear it's nice. I know Steven Soderbergh studied in Louisiana, and I believe he's from Louisiana, and I'm a big Soderbergh fan, so in that way, I guess my spirit has sort of gone to Louisiana, but I've never been there personally, so sorry. But it's probably cool. Always wanted to go, actually, and I probably will one day. Like to meet the good people at the Louisiana Film Channel, for instance. But yeah, where you are, LA or New York. Okay, well, I grew up in Los Angeles, and I left Los Angeles, and I've still been able to make movies. Sure, I haven't become famous or successful in the normal definition of the term. Meaning I don't make money making films, and I don't have money to pay people to make films. For me, that would be successful. period. If that film could make money on top, exciting, awesome. You know, if I could afford to buy things with that money, even better. If I could make other people's lives better with that money, if that success could help me make my next movie even better. So yeah, but New York or LA, I like New York a little better than LA, but I grew up in LA, and I don't know if anybody really likes where they grew up, or maybe they do, but it's not just me, or it is just me, but I'm guessing it's not just me, right? Yeah, so I live in Berlin, Germany right now, and they have a big filmmaking community here, obviously, like in most big cities or capitals of countries. The love of cinema. What makes a film great for you? Are there certain qualities that make a film better for you? What do I consider to be a great film? Something that moves me, something that opens my mind and my heart, something that after watching it, I can't just watch another film or do my taxes or joke around with someone. A film that kind of stays with you, sticks in you, and carries on. One of my favorite films is Amadeus by Milos Forman, based on the play by Peter Shaffer. I think I mixed up Forman and Forsman. Yeah, whatever. God. Yeah. So I think I said that already. What makes a great film is certain qualities. Certain qualities that make a great film, a lot of them, all of them, maybe. It's the beauty of filmmaking, that all these different aspects of filmmaking have to come together at the same time, the same moment when that shutter's clicked. You know, everything from acting to directing, the producer, the catering, the costumes, the makeup, everything has to work just the right way. The editing, obviously, afterwards, the sound design, the sound mix, the sound on the set. I'm leaving out a bunch of people, but you've seen the closing credits. There are a lot. Yeah, so having all those things come together at just the right time, and the story. Obviously, the story has to be compelling and engaging, and you have to feel for the protagonist, and yeah, that's my answer. What films have been the most inspiring and influential to you? So the films that have been the most inspiring and influential for me, I would have to say Amadeus by Milos Forman, Amélie by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and I guess if we're sticking with the A's, American Beauty, which was great. Yeah, all these films inspire me. I think mostly because I relate to them on a personal level, on an emotional level, on a personal level, spiritual level. I like films that, look at the underdog and how the underdog kind of rises to find his or her strength within, I guess. Yeah, and those are the films that inspire me and are influential. So are there qualities in today's cinema that I try to avoid or rebel against? I guess handheld cameras personally make me kind of nauseous when I'm sitting in a movie theater if they're too, jagged, and I understand it's supposed to portray the viewer or the protagonist's angst and stress and tension, and it does that, but if it's done too much, it kind of makes me sick a little bit to my stomach. I've actually walked out of a movie theater because the handheld camera was so jarring that I couldn't focus, and I actually felt ill. So yeah, I'm all for like a static, steady Steadicam, obviously cool. Dolly shots, awesome. Crane, drone, what have you. You know, just as long as it's smooth and beautiful. I like when things flow. But I understand that sometimes it's called for to have a jerky camera. I just don't like it much in my films. I have used it, but very minimally. We're all here presumably partially because we love cinema. How did your love for movies get sparked, and what can we as a community do to help others discover a similar pleasure? How did your love for movies get sparked? What can we do to help others? How did my love for movies get sparked? Well, I actually wanted to be a stuntman first. I used to watch The Fall Guy. Maybe some of you older folks know that television show with Lee Majors. Played a character named Colt Seavers. He was a stuntman. He was cool, and I was kind of rough and tumble kid, so I used to like doing that. So I guess that was kind of the thing that sparked my interest in cinema, wanting to be a stuntman. And from that, when I was in high school, I discovered acting, so I learned how to be an actor. And then in college, I learned how to direct, and directing kind of stuck with me. I also still act from time to time. I actually make a living as an actor because no one will pay me to direct, so sometimes they pay me to act. So generally speaking, when we want to learn about a film, we talk to the director, but those that make films know how much they are really collaborations. What makes a fruitful collaboration? What do you do to enhance the collaborative process? So, as I mentioned before, filmmaking is a collaborative process, and I particularly like that collaborative process. I like hearing people's opinions and suggestions, and if I find them to be worthy and wonderful, then I'm all for using them. Yes, the director usually is credited with the film in the end as his vision or her vision. But yeah, it is a collaboration, and I value every person on the set. I try to make a point to learn everyone's name. That's often difficult, especially when there are a lot of extras. But yeah, it's very important. So how do I maintain that, or how do I encourage it, or what was the how do I enhance the collaborative process? I think mutual respect. I've never made a film where people got paid. So every film I've worked on, people have worked for me, with me, for no money. And that is a different kind of collaboration, because you know that they're there because either A, they believe in you as a filmmaker, or B, they believe in the script, or C, you got a really cool actor attached and they want to be around that. So yeah, I think respect is very important, and knowing that we're all in this together and we're all trying to make the best movie possible, and understanding that it is a long, tedious, painstaking process to make a film, and know that different people have different levels of elasticity. Is that the word? That some people can't shoot 14 hours straight, and some people have tempers, and some people lose their sense of humor. I think that's something else that I use to lighten a set, is a sense of humor, or at least trying to be funny and light, and saying thank you a lot, being grateful for those that are there working for you, with you, for the project, for the vision, and being grateful for their work, their talent, their time, because they could be doing something else. Social media is fun, right? So it said that there are only 6 stories, maybe 12. It's all been done before, and we have seen it all. What do you do to keep it fresh? Is there anything that you can do to subvert the process to keep it original? Yeah, I don't know if there are any new stories to tell, but I'm guessing there are because it's coming from you. So maybe it's similar to another story, but like nobody can tell the same story in the same way as I can. I think every person is unique in the world, and only they are able to create a piece of art the way they see it and they want to make it. So in that way, yes, you can make a space movie, and there can be many different ways to make a space movie. You know, there's different people that do it differently, and it's some people are successful doing it, some people are not so successful. But yeah, just hoping that your particular vision connects, resonates with an audience, and trying to move in that direction is, very important in the collaborative process. We get noticed because of our successes, but we create them on the back of our failures. We learn best from the experiences where it doesn't work, yet we still only discuss the success, not the failure. What failures of your own have you been able to learn from? How did they change you in your process? Funny you should ask me that. Now, I'm actually doing a documentary, a mockumentary of sorts called Living in Limbo, and it explores the process and the definitions of success and failure and what it means to be successful, what it means to be a failure in today's world and in society. I don't know if I've had any great failures or great successes. I've won some awards, but I'm not sure it's too difficult to win a couple of awards. There's a lot of film festivals out there. Failures, okay, here's a failure you could see as a failure. I don't personally, but when I screened my short film Drive in a movie theater in Munich, Germany, and went up for the Q&A after, one person stood up and said, "Why have you wasted 20 minutes of my life?" And I wasn't ready for that question. And I think he said it in German, and I speak a little German, and I try to answer in German that I didn't mean to waste 20 minutes of his life. He asked me what I found interesting or exciting about the story, and I told him. But yeah, it was a little awkward. But yeah, it wasn't a perfect film, surely, and there were certainly flaws. And but a failure, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of sayings about failures that if you don't try, then you're a failure, and I tried, so I guess based on that, I'm not a failure. My successes, they don't really mean much to me. I mean, if I won an Oscar or a Emmy or Golden Globe or something, maybe it'd be different, and I'm grateful to the people that were kind enough to give me awards at film festivals. But it's just nice when people respond to your work, and in a positive way, obviously. And I think it's okay if they respond in a negative way. I have a cousin who's a banker who saw my short film The Kiss and basically said, "What is this crap?" Which is cool, because it's not made for bankers in the world, you know? And it's okay that he had a strong reaction against it, that he couldn't understand it, that he didn't, you know, and that's cool. I mean, I would rather people hate my films than be indifferent, you know? They say the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And maybe you could apply that to film as well. It all starts with the script. Maybe not, but when do you know a script is ready to shoot? What's your process of getting there? Oh, man. When do I know a script is ready to shoot? Short answer is, I don't. I think it was Picasso who said, any piece of art is never actually finished, it's only abandoned. I think you can constantly write and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite your script and change it and try to make it better. And I think there is a point where you start making it worse. Where that point is, I do not know, unfortunately. I've done a few timed competitions where you get a theme, you have to write a script and then shoot it and edit it in a certain number of hours or days. And that's cool because you don't have to worry about whether it's ready or not. It has to be ready. It's done. Just shoot it, make the best film you can out of it, and see what happens. I'm trying to write a feature screenplay right now, and it's very painful and difficult, and I don't know when it's finished or if it will ever be finished, or if it was finished a long time ago. I don't know. I can send it to people, get coverage, pay people to read it, and I guess if somebody says it's perfect, go out and make it, and here's a couple million, 10, 20, 30 maybe, then I guess it's ready. So if I can get people to actually invest in the film, then I guess it's ready. But until then, I don't know. I'm just gonna shoot it myself for very little money, and hopefully it was ready when I shoot it and when it's done. And even a script is, it's also been said that it's a blueprint, and the film is made in 3 different levels or time periods: the writing, the shooting, and the editing. And I also love the editing process because, I think that's really where the film is kind of finalized, obviously. But it's the 3rd round of writing where you can correct things that were maybe weak in the script or weak in the shoot. Sometimes you can't. That sucks, but live and learn, right? Several directors have told me the most of directing is actually casting, regardless of whether that's true. Some actors have it, and sometimes they need something to make it pop. You spotted that it and captured it. What is it, and how do you find it? How do I find it in an actor? Like I said, I've never actually paid anyone to act in my films, so I've had to make compromises, obviously. But yes, they say 80% of a director's job is casting, and I would agree with that, if not more. I have not always done great with the casting. Sometimes I have, and it's wonderful, especially when I cast myself. Joking. I don't like acting and directing at the same time. But I don't know, you look for similarities, I guess, in the actor. Obviously people can play different things outside themselves, but I feel it's interesting when there's a similarity between the character and the actor. Maybe it's deep down and buried, and maybe it's something you see in snippets of a reaction with the actor, or maybe a previous role that they've done. Is the film business fair? I don't know. I'm sure the successful people think it's fair, and the unsuccessful people think it's not fair. Do I think it's fair? Like I said, I haven't ever made money directing film. Well, it's not necessarily true. I directed a training film, like a corporate film, a long time ago. And, that's it, I think. Anyway, is the film business fair? I'm sure if you're not a white male, that it probably seems more unfair, and probably is more unfair, I'm guessing. I think the DGA released something recently that said 2/3 of the working directors in film and television are white males. I guess it's a lot harder for females and minorities to break into the industry, to be successful. As a white male myself, I understand that I have a privilege, this white male privilege that I have. So I kind of have no excuse for not being a successful filmmaker, really. But still, I'm not a successful filmmaker. Failure might be a little strong of a word, but I don't know how to make a feature film. I don't know how to find a producer and financing. I'm exploring all these things now. I'm guessing it'll be easier, like I mentioned, for myself, being a Caucasian male. But yeah, they say that a good script rises to the top. And perhaps that's so. Perhaps I've never written a good script, or perhaps I haven't gotten a good script out to the people that want to make that good script. But yes, to answer your question, I'm guessing it's unfair. So, Sofia Coppola, brilliant director, obviously, but, you know, Francis Ford Coppola kind of helped her out, I'm guessing, a little bit, right? Francis's wife even directed her first feature film, I think, at 80. So, yeah, it's never too late. So I guess, yeah, in that regard, it's kind of unfair because, yeah, if you know someone, I think your chances are a lot more likely of getting in the door. Or if you know someone when they're just starting out and you kind of both go through, you know, go up the ladder at the same time, then that helps. So yeah, but life's unfair, really, isn't it? I'm not sure that the film industry is any more unfair than life is. Good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people in life and in the entertainment industry. And that sucks. Is it the filmmaker's responsibility to find and develop your audience? Why do you feel that way? Whew. Is it my responsibility as a filmmaker to find and develop my audience? Yes, I guess. I mean, I'm just exploring now. I've directed 12 short films. And I'm just now even thinking about finding an audience. Distribution, putting it on streaming platforms, and so for me, I guess it is my responsibility, or a producer's responsibility, but since I've produced all my films, it's kind of my responsibility. And the people that helped me out producing a couple films, I don't think it's their responsibility. So it all falls to me, I'm afraid. But I would love to work with a producer that really was ambitious and driven and motivated to distribute and to find an audience and to, you know, build a brand or whatever people do these days with their so-called content. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of old-fashioned in the way I just kind of want to make a good movie, put it out there in movie theaters or on a streaming platform, see who wants to watch it, who likes it, who doesn't like it. And yeah, so I guess in a way I'm saying I want someone else to find my audience for me and develop it for me. Huh. Lazy. Develop your audience. Okay. What role have film festivals played in your life so far? Why are they necessary? How do you get the most out of them? All right. All right. What role? Okay. What role have film festivals played in my life so far? They've played different roles, actually. I've been to Cannes twice. They played less of a role, even though I shot a documentary there one year. Actually, both years, but the other one was a narrative feature. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I've been to the Berlinale, the Berlin International Film Festival. Those are kind of the only two big ones I've been to, A-list festivals, I guess you call it. And I've been to a handful of smaller festivals, and while at the big festivals, it's very interesting with all the glamour and the photographers and you know, the A-list celebrities. I actually prefer the smaller film festivals. I feel that they're done with a lot of heart. There's one called, speaking of heart, Deep in the Heart Film Festival, I believe. Deep in the Heart? Yeah, because they're deep in the heart of Texas. It's run by these two guys that are great, and I went to Waco, Texas, and I went there to screen my film Limbo. And yeah, they're really nice. They're both passionate filmmakers themselves. So yeah, it was great meeting them and their wives, and meeting some other filmmakers, which I actually met at other film festivals while I was going around the film festival circuit with Limbo. Yeah, it's interesting seeing other films. There's some film festivals that aren't that great. That are just starting out. There are also film festivals that just want your money, and you have to be careful about that. Yeah, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I don't know how to really get into the big film festivals. I submitted my film to Sundance a couple times, a couple of films. My short film Limbo played at the Short Film Corner in Cannes, but it's not the same as the actual Cannes Film Festival. I mean, it sort of is, but there's no glamour to it. But, you know, they're trying to support short film, which is nice. Yeah, I'm interested in doing the festival circuit again when theaters are open, when festivals are running at full capacity, and when I have a feature film. Oh, that'll be neat. Cool, right? All right, how do you get the most out? How do you get the most out of film festivals? I guess it's by networking, it's by meeting people. Personally, I'm not like a go-getter, ambitious. Hey, how you doing? My name's Jean-Luc. You know, I got this great idea for a film. I wrote this script, and yeah, maybe that is the reason I'm not successful in the film industry. I'm a terrible networker. If somebody comes up to me, or we're sitting next to each other in a movie theater and we strike up a conversation, awesome. Exchange information, contact information, and I keep in touch and I write. And but yeah, as far as like kind of schmoozing, and yeah, I'm not really good at that, unfortunately. But I think it's good if you are. And you're an actual nice person who's good at it, and yeah, I think it would help. I don't know how to break into like the cool parties, and I'm not sure breaking into cool parties is beneficial, but it probably is. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people use film festivals, like the big ones like Cannes and the Berlin International Film Festival, you know, to meet people and try to set up meetings and stuff. But yeah, so I've had the big film festivals and the little ones. I'm more drawn to the little ones, like I am kind of to the underdogs in the world. So, but yeah, I just got to network, I guess. I'm a big believer in the importance of social media in many aspects of the film process. Wow. How do you use it in your work? Social media. So I've been trying to avoid social media most of my life because I find it to be, in a way, ego masturbation. It's probably really nice when people tell you a lot of nice things, when they give you hearts and thumbs up, emojis and emoticons and what have you. And it probably helps your ego, and it makes you sleep better at night knowing that you're loved by people you may not know at all. But I don't need that myself. At the same time, I understand that it's important to engage in that as a filmmaker. I am on social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Is LinkedIn social media? I don't know. I even got a TikTok account, but that's as an actor. And I just posted one silly video with me just standing there. So yeah, I tried to engage with it very to a limited degree. So I have in my calendar every week post on social media. Like I mentioned earlier, I should stop saying that because I don't know if you'll use the stuff I mentioned earlier. So I'm also an actor, so I have a Facebook account with my acting name, and I put stuff when I'm on the set or a photo shoot or a voiceover job or something. I'll do a little selfie and do hashtag this and hashtag that, thinking that maybe another filmmaker or somebody might give me a job or might need a voice or when I got started, there were 2 screens: movie screen, television. Now there are computers, telephone screens everywhere. The home, bus stop, the elevator, taxi. As a creator, how does this affect the stories you tell and how you tell them? So when I started, there were also 2 screens: the television screen and the movie theater screen. Now there are many more screens. How does this affect my work? It doesn't really. I'm telling a story. What you choose to watch that story on is up to you. I prefer a very big screen myself, but I'm also okay watching a big screen TV that's smaller than a movie theater projected screen. So yeah, it doesn't really affect my work and how I tell stories. I think the film should translate across every type of medium. So what would make the film industry better? One thing, I guess, to have more diverse voices would make it better. They would expand the experience. It would bring us closer together as human beings. It would make us more tolerant. It would make us more open to learning new things about different people from different cultures. It would make us more accepting of different languages and different lifestyles. So I think that's probably the one thing that would make the film industry better. Do filmmakers have any responsibility to culture? Do you feel that being a creative person requires that you give back or tell a particular story? Why or not? I'm not sure that filmmakers are responsible to culture. Yeah, okay, let's do that again. I don't personally believe that filmmakers are responsible to culture. I know they affect culture and they change culture, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But I think a filmmaker has to make the film that he or she feels inside them and wants to express. Filmmaking is an exploration of sorts, exploring feelings and motivations and stories and dreams. And I think it's good that films, focus on society and how society needs to change to be better. But I personally don't feel that calling myself. There are enough great filmmakers out there that are doing that and that do affect the culture. But me, I'm just trying to make a film that expresses how I feel and explores themes that I'm interested in. I know it sounds very selfish. Sorry. What inspired this film or story? Well, the film was written by a lovely young lady named Amy Fruchtman. She's in New York City, and I discovered the story online. She posted on a website called Inktip. I downloaded it, and I read it, and I liked it. What drew me to it was the theme of grief and overcoming grief and our search for love and our ability to give love and receive love and obsession and healthy ways of dealing with grief and unhealthy ways. These were all very interesting themes that I wanted to explore, and Amy's script gave me the opportunity to do that. Where did I find my cast? Well, I found 2 of the main cast through projects I worked on previously. 2 other short films that I directed, I used the same actresses. And then there was another one, the main protagonist of the film. He was suggested by another person. I met with him and we clicked and we made a film together. Sounds kind of boring, but that's the way it happened. I guess I should have done a more detailed audition process, but I think they were all pretty good. But I'll let you be the judge. What is your next project? Oh, wow. So, my next project, I'd like to direct a feature film. I'd like to make a family drama and explore family dynamics and what happens when two young people are put into a very difficult situation and how they react, and what character means and what strength means and love means and courage means and fighting for what's right and not going the easy way out. And yeah, these are all themes that I'd like to explore in my next feature film. So if there are any producers out there looking for some new material, or any people with a bunch of money that want to invest it into a film, now's your chance. My email address is, maybe they'll put it underneath, or maybe whatever. Jean-Luc Julien. Google me, you'll find me. Jean-Luc is spelled the French way. Yeah. Unique conditions on the film set, I guess. No. There's always a lack of time and money, but that's certainly not unique in any film project. Yeah, I was very lucky, very blessed that things came together as they did. It was a 3-day shoot, 2 days in one location, in my own apartment. Okay, that was unique. Not that I haven't made a film in my own apartment before, but this was with a cast and crew of about 30 people, and it's not a very big apartment. And I had to borrow the neighbor's electricity because my DP wanted to set lights on the balcony. So now that you got me thinking, there are a lot of unique problems. How did I deal with that? How did I solve them creatively? I just did, I guess. I tried to keep things light as I could, even though everyone was crammed into a small apartment. Try to be grateful for everyone. I was probably a little stressed myself. Actually, the gaffer, I think, had an accident with the lighting van, and cops were called, and but yeah, I didn't have to deal with that directly, thank goodness. It's a little money, a little time, and challenges all the time, sleeping and working, and it's a boring answer, but what number are we at? We're at like 27. I'm exhausted already talking to myself, or to you, dear viewer. All right, anyone you would like to acknowledge or thank from this project? Oh. Who would I like to thank on this project? Well, if you watch the end credits, you'll see everyone I would like to thank. A movie doesn't get made by one person. A movie gets made by everyone who's working on that movie, and I'm very grateful, like I said. Nobody got paid on this movie. It was a short film. We did a Kickstarter campaign, just barely covered costs. Didn't really cover all the costs as far as festival submissions. I had to cover that myself, but I'm very grateful to the actors and everyone on the crew that donated their time and talent and believed in me and the project and the script, and thank you. And thank you to everyone really who has supported me throughout my career. Would be a weird way of saying it, because I think you have to make money to have a career, but my experience of making movies, I guess. My mother was always a big supporter of me. My math teacher, high school math teacher, actually cut me a check, which was sweet. All of the Kickstarter backers and contributors that put in money, and it's amazing. like I said, like I keep saying, movies don't get made by one person. I'm being interviewed as one person, but there's hundreds of people behind me that have helped me make the movies I've directed, and I'm grateful to every one of them. So thank you. Peace. Be good. All right. Well, I think I've said everything I need to say. If you want me to say more, I hope I'm in focus.